Hello, wild ones. This is Cole Adams, and we are going to do painterly gel plates today. I'm just going to get started, no intro. I picked this drawing of a Tisha Moorish inspired woman out of my sketchbook, and I'm taking some tracing paper and some charcoal, pressed charcoal stick, and just tracing around my drawing, making it a little different, but pretty much sticking to the sketchbook drawing. This is all mine from my design, so I'm not worried about copying myself. But I think I drew this after after reading a book where Tisha went through kind of her face construction, so it definitely has like the hat of a Tisha Moore person. And then now that that's all onto a piece of, I think I did it on tracing paper, but you could easily do this on deli paper as well. I'm going to add some mushrooms, some really large mushrooms. So I made her kind of a fairy-sized sprite because the mushrooms are as big as she is. And this is definitely a fantasy-inspired piece. And I'm going to take my small gel plate and put it over the top. I just wanted to be able to line it up, and looking through the back of your gel plate is a great way to get it in the right spot. Now burnish that down. You don't need any liquid adhesive or anything in between. The charcoal will literally just come straight off and attach to the surface. You can't rub it off. It's very firmly on there once you start. And then we're going to paint in reverse. So it's kind of like a window pane painting where you're putting on most of your detail right away. And I ended up working kind of in thin layers at the beginning, so I got some texture around it. I needed a little bit of white to that color. I'm adding that now. And then you're painting all of your details closest to those charcoal lines. It's kind of like filling in a coloring book that you made. And that goes in pretty quick. But I found painting on gel, I wanted to like tap the brush on, because if I dragged it all, the paint didn't quite adhere to the surface. And if it's a brand new gel plate, you will get some bubbles and some oily texture, but I didn't mind that. This one is not a new gel plate. This is a class gel plate, so it's been used a lot. I'm just going in and filling the stripes in, and you don't have to be super precise, because I actually want to cover up all the black line with color so that you can kind of see it stand out against the mushroom or against the background. So I'm going in with this first layer pretty tight inside of the stems and inside of the pieces, but as I add layers, I'm gonna keep adding them just a little bit wider than the original, so I get little layers or bands of color around that black line, which I really liked. That was part of the process of learning this that made me super happy. I'm having fun with this like coloring book aesthetic and painting it in. It's making me be just a little bit riskier with my color choices, and I appreciate that. I really love this turquoise next to this pinky color. I think it's such a beautiful combo. Didn't end up using a lot of yellow in this piece, but it is kind of a primary-ish piece because it has those slightly off primary combos. Now I'm going in with my second layer, so this will, any parts that didn't get fully covered in the first layer will get covered with this layer, and I'm going slightly outside the first layer. And here I'm going to show you the back so you can really see what it's going to look like. See how that pink part isn't at all covered yet. So when I go back in with a secondary color over the top of it, you'll see that. This is always a freaky part, but you're painting the whites of the eyes because the pupils are already there in charcoal. This will just help those eyes really stand out off the surface because they're super white. I'm also going to make white dots on the mushroom caps, so that'll happen. And I love how that really just stands out. I decided to back some of the pink color with white on the heart because I thought it would be really pretty to see little bits kind of pushing through. And I just want to make sure everything's really opaque. So I'm letting everything dry in between. There's some dry time that I cut out for just time of video. But I'm going over all of this paint multiple times. I think I ended up counting, it was about 3 to 4 times of just covering till I didn't see, when I turned it over, I didn't see any daylight through the piece I was painting, although the background is 100% clear still and will remain that way because I'm actually going to do some collage on it. I really wanted you to be able to see how I fill those lips in very carefully and not too bright a color. I'm still thinking about the skin tone. I'm starting to try to make it, but I got a little nervous, so I decided that was going to be the background of the mushroom. It's way too pink for skin tone. And I love that you can see this lighter kind of corally color through the foreground pink. And you'll notice I'm going quite far outside. I'm really painting over those black coloring book lines. And I don't know if you can tell, but it's definitely covered now. But I do go in with one more background color just to be sure. So now I have mixed up a more pleasing, it's not perfect, and I kind of don't want it to be. I think of this person as a fairy, so I kind of think they can be turquoise if they want it to be, but this is a very pinky tone of skin. And I'm really just patting that on, being careful on the edges, but I'm going over the lips, I'm going over the cheeks, going over most of the eye. I would rather have no line than a little bit of that skin tone color come through any of those parts. Here's another turnover. Oh, starting to look really cool. Starting to look really covered, which is nice. And here's I did paint one more layer because I had some leftover palette color and it had dried. I didn't record that part. It was really late at night. This is a piece of collage paper from an earlier spray paint gel plate something. And I'm going to use that to collage, but I'm going to collage directly on the surface of the gel plate. So adding some acrylic gel medium, using my favorite acrylic gel tool, which is, or acrylic medium tool, which is a, for the hardware store, a paint edger, I think is what it's called, to get that glue spread around. I didn't really want to, I was a little afraid to use a brayer on that really thick dry paint. I was a little worried I might mess up the surface or make cracks that I didn't really want. So I'm being really gentle, laying that in, letting it dry before I then put on a backer piece, which is, I decided to put another piece of collage behind this piece of collage because I could still see so much through. So I'm just auditioning a few pieces. Another layer of acrylic gel medium, that keeps it clear. That's just the acrylic binder from paint. It doesn't have any color in it. And it dries really, I put a lot on. I'm not sure I needed quite that much. It's a pretty small plate, Cole. Calm down. I was really wanted to make sure I had good adhesion, and I left this overnight to dry. So This is the acrylic gel layer. If you're enjoying this video, please like and subscribe. Leave me a comment. Is this something, do you love gel plating? I just love it. And this technique really made me happy. This is a piece of painted paper. I think it's tissue. Oh no, that's exam room paper. I can tell from here. I did a layer of plexiglass, and I had a little oops as this was drying. This plexiglass really adhered. That layer of glue just came through, and so I had to kind of tear the plexi off. So I end up putting another little bit of acrylic gel medium and a piece of white deli paper over the whole thing. You can see that here. I've changed locations. I need this plate for class, so I'm pulling this with one hand while I'm sitting there getting ready for my next gel plate class. But gosh, it turned out so cool. I love the way collage feels when it's been sealed with a gel plate. I think I'm going to be doing a lot more collaging, building collage on a gel plate. But I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you like my little fairy sprite. I think she turned out awesome. Go out, enjoy yourself, take care of yourself, take care of the earth.